And this is I'm standing in the cemetery at Normandy in Washington. So I got a raised view of this intersection, and we're gonna film it for a while. And notice the cars. You know, they're the government cars. Notice the amount, the number. This is one of the street actors. I'm not sure why they keep them coming when I'm filming. They seem to be in such a routine that it doesn't change. But if you were to like analyze this tape, you would see that these cars are all stalkers for the most part. There are some civilians perhaps, but there are a lot of them are the rentals, and now the other side's starting to fill up as they come around. I mean, the intensity of their operation, and the side streets are filled with many of their cars that they park. Those plates would probably go back to them, at some level, but they don't seem to even care. So I'm more interested in who rents the cars to them, because they're part of my civil action. This is up Normandy right now, it's going up, and then right now Washington is flowing. So they're getting wise to my little tactics. So they're shutting down a little bit, but still, it's good tape. Any truck too, I find, is something that you have to look at. I used to think the trucks, they're real civilians like that. I've never seen a armored car company named that, Sectrin Security. So they're probably part of the team at some level. What the hell's going on in there? I don't know. This graveyard I just walked through, gained access to, because saying that my uncle is buried here. Turns out to be sort of a throughway for these people to, there's a lot of big fences around. You think it was a prison, but there's ways to get in and out, and that's what they do. They use it as a corridor. Spook the people, spook the neighbors. It's all about spooking. The very religious, look at that red car. The very religious Los Angeles. Keep them down, keep them under the thumbs. Of course they're filled with hate. Spiritually, I'm the monster. So, anyways, here's the sheriff now. He'll probably take my stuff away from me, or put me in jail. Up there, all up there. Anyways, he's right there. See what he does. I'll do what he says. He's doing a movie. Getting behind me is the graveyard, just so he can get some. Well, I'll probably end up doing this stuff. Anyways, I think it's important though that this come out in the wash. It's gonna come down Normandy now. Love to see. Really something. It's been running for 3 minutes and 25 seconds now. The amount of traffic. I mean, if you're not convinced they're stalkers, if I'm making it all up, I ask you to analyze the plates of the cars. Look at it, wherever you are across the country. I'm on location. I know. Anybody who now kicks in and says I'm paranoid, I know who they're with. Sad. Here we are in 2016. Look at this big truck. I often wonder what goes on in the big ones. There they are. The Normandy is not normally a huge street. Again, a lot of rentals. The rental companies, they know what they're doing. The amount of rental cars going in and out of this group organization, you gotta figure there's 4 transactions at minimum per rental. They go in and out, drop it in, pick it off, and then there's probably other routine problems that go on. So they know each other, they know what they do. I'm sure during deposition or cross-examination, all that can come out. So I do expect a federal court to allow me to bring them into a lawsuit as co-conspirators, and work with Discovery that way to gain more access to how big this conspiracy is, which I think people would want to know. If you don't want to know and you're an American, I should think that why? This is weird. It was happening here in California. Is this the formula for the rest of the country? What you want in your hometown? This is what we come to. So, hopefully not. That's my position. I don't mind anybody making a position, but these guys have gone and taken out and out action. This action that they've taken is totally run roughshod over my civil rights. Flying overhead in the past hour, at least 7 to 8 times I counted, is the sheriffs. I assume the sheriffs. They have drones. One drone looks like a jet, but if it flies low and it's white and it's mimicking a jet. The other one's a helicopter, mimicking a real helicopter. It's too small for that, and it's a drone. They're drones. I believe both of them are drones. I think that at some point I'm going to try to get the FAA flyover patterns of LA, and whether they show up on there or not, who knows. But at this point, I would say that the Sheriff's Office of Los Angeles is deeply involved in tracking or learning how to track with their drone helicopters. Compton is probably out of question because Compton, came to life. So now they're doing it on people like me, homeless people, or other renegades. Tweaking it all right. Of course, that's going to be something this lawsuit's going to talk about. Do we as Americans have a right to walk freely anymore? Untracked by our government? If we're under legal suspicion. I should hope so. What does that mean? It means the rich people who can get the equipment, the cars, and all that, well, they're the ones who are not going to be tracked. So it becomes, it almost becomes a discrimination-like action where some people are going to be tracked and some aren't due to their status. It's the rich trying to get prepared to track the poor, take over the, and put things down rather quickly if they get out of hand. And getting out of hand can mean what? Electing the wrong people? That could, it doesn't have to be a riot. They don't want politics. They don't want certain politicians in there. They don't want certain messages to the message of just expanding the city council here in LA. The city council assembly. I think what this on. To a large extent. Of course, that's a big change. But that's, my timeline shows that. Why else would they stick with it? It's just costing them a lot of money. And I can't think that they wouldn't be doing this unless they had some sort of huge potential outcome, which is, shutting down any talk of political change here in LA, which is going to bring any sort of reform to. Hey, what time is it? And these are people getting off the bus. Most likely they're with the sheriff. So far so good. Nobody's going to get to my face. There's cameras out there. There's equipment out there that they use to, tear apart your signal and everything. So we're at 8:52 right now. Minutes. I assume it's a little bit fast moving or something. I'm not sure. Like my clocks are off. I'm running like a mad dog. But it's still early. Sometimes when I wait at street corners and they don't want me to move a certain way, the buses will pass with not service signs on them. They'll all switch to that. Or buses won't pass. Trains will stop. They are able to control the schedule of that, so that I can be stopped and slowed in the corner. So they try to control where I go with those types of methods, Like I said, they lugged me to jail last week. Old warrant, tickets for it. But not me, I got 3 days. That was fun. But I had time to rest and think about my situation. Not to waste time. I don't know, analyzing this tape down the road, you'll probably see dubs and maybe not. Maybe there's the Uber cars. I think Uber should know right up front that their people are doing this at different levels. That they got to stop this violation of the law and they're going to be sued. They're going to be brought into the lawsuit. out. Anybody out there who's a legal experience and wants to help me sincerely, I appreciate that. This is an area of the society and the life of people should be here. And there's our fellow fireman coming by. Come on! They usually have their sirens raising, knowing that I'm about, and then they come down. That one goes to a lot of different, like a dog walking van. Yeah, they have cruelty to animals. They have vans filled with, several, maybe half dozen dogs. Stuffed in crates, burlap bags I've seen. So that when they want a dog walker, they instantly, one of these walkers goes up to the van, grabs a dog, and walks through the neighborhood with a dog. The dogs are not owned by any particular person. They're just in a pack like that, and they never get well cared for. I see them, their paws, I see them limping. I see their paws have to be bandaged. And these people don't give up on them. They just keep pushing them. They'll drag their dogs to do what they have to do. It's cruel. It really is. Again, the children often brought into the scenes by their mothers. What's that? Negligence. Again, here we're at the corner of Broadway, Normandy, in Washington, in Los Angeles. My name is Ed Ryan. I'm being gang stalked by a lot of vehicles. Gang stalking, Google the phrase, you'll see that it means some element of the government, along with other people, drive around you constantly, like surveillance and sending walkers and all that. The goal is to do it so they're not noted, to homeless people who don't know, or people who don't know, drive them nuts or have them create a crime. But see, when they started on me 8 months ago, my goal became, let's figure this thing out. I'm a lawyer by education. I did 15 years of practice law, and I'm out here writing, and I was living as a homeless person, so I got caught in their practice net, so to speak. And I had talked to prior homeless people. This is back in July of, this is back in early April of 2015, who were getting caught by these stalkers, circle them hours, days at a time. They would finally snap, throw a rock, or go to a mental hospital, and that's what these guys were practicing to do. They do a pattern driving. The FBI uses for surveillance. It's called keeping them in a box or something like that. You can't walk away from these people. They're always going to follow you. A lot of them are professionals. A lot of them come from Crime Watch. They're civilians, but they do it 24/7 when they pick a victim, and the police don't care. They laugh at you if you go, hey, I'm being followed, can you help me? No, you're not being followed. So that's what's going on in LA. That was the tip of the iceberg. As I kept looking into it, I started seeing more and more corruption. The sheriff's office in it, big time. Of course, the technique comes from the Mexican mafia. They use this gang stalking technique. Really, Google it and read it. There's a lot of information on the net. Figure it out. Many Americans have been tortured psychologically by this, and in my opinion, it should be exposed. Now, here in LA, who's behind it? Who's doing it? Again, the police department is doing it, but the police department also, I can say, has knowledge of, or actually employs, or is helping to employ a group of at least 100 homeless-like people who are pedestrians of this unit. They scatter out to the LA area on buses, and they post up in different parts, so they have certain people walk through that they are tracking, they talk, they tell, or they do street theater trying to freak out certain people, along with the cars. On me, I was aware of all these tactics when it started. I was not freaked out. I just, was going to chronicle it, and when it hasn't stopped 8 months later, now I'm going to sue in federal court under continuing federal RICO civil action as a criminal enterprise. These people you know, I can't get their names. They won't give them to me, the past one. But they have to rent all these cars, and I noticed that they rent these cars from about 5 different agencies around town, and that these agencies have their names, have been making money, and are part of the criminal enterprise. So I'm going to sue them and use discovery to get the names of the stalkers themselves. Now, when I started this process, you know, going around to, you know, the pre-litigation phase, getting my information, the massive stalking like this started happening, like last week. Hundreds, not maybe thousands, of participants trying to tell me what we've done. Many death threats, many times. They're gonna get my head blown off, or gonna live right in hell, or much. So yesterday I did a similar tape to this, and I tried to upload it. They came by with very technical equipment to prevent the uploading. Actually, ruined my video. I never saw it again. They're able to do stuff like that. Then right here to this one, who knows? All I can do is keep trying. I noticed a big plane in the air at that point. It looked like an AWAC. You know, they can prevent uploading to the internet, and they do that. They do that. You know, I have no indictment against me as far as they know. I have, you know, I'm just a regular American here. No angel, but no big-time criminal. And they are doing this to me, preventing my civil rights of disseminating information. It really is. It's bad. In the meantime, LA balloons in its fundamentalist, spooky, superstitious, religious, you know, arm, put it that way. There's all sorts of Christian schools. You have and they're cult-like schools. And a lot of these people in these cars are from these churches, these cult churches. A lot of the pedestrians are from the cult churches. The Oasis Church, the, of course you have the, you know, they're just all over. The Dream Church, they take addicts off the street allegedly and then turn them to God, and they're out here doing their thing. I follow these people back to their, you know, bound through the basket identification. You know, it's under the footwork to know who they are. Rather than bringing each name and trying to all those details forward, because I get robbed regularly by these people, and going back and forth, I finally decided on the strategy I described earlier of bringing in the businesses that support their enterprise, along with the police departments that have not supported me. Drafting that complaint today. I'm going to be leaving soon to go do that some more, and hopefully get this thing uploaded. I don't know what else to say at this point. You know, I just show and tell. I should think that people would be concerned. You know, it's something that you know, no Americans should have to put up with. And physically, they're getting very aggressive. I've been, you know, violent. Thursday, the 14th this month, I was attacked at Santa Fe and 4th railroad crossing, where there was a big street theater put on to them, to the point where they were on the tracks with a crane doing something with 3 people, and 2 other people came at me with clubs. It should all be on security footage. And later on, Amtrak police kind of showed up at some nearby diner and giggled about it. You know, is that cool? Do you want these people on the railroad tracks, fake welding and stuff with cranes, who are not really doing jobs? These are American railroad tracks. You know, trains use these things. People go over these things and they're out there fucking with them. Excuse my language. Not good. You know, they think they got all the. You take a regular civilian. A lot of these people have criminal ties. Okay, they're actually informants for the federal government or state government. They have criminal ties. A lot of them have been known to be pedophiles or run sex rings. The gang stalker comes from a very broken personality. He is known to be, you know, sexually deviant. Again, they have a lot. You know, percentage-wise, they're saying upwards towards 50% of the males are pedophiles. That's right. 50% of these gang stalkers are pedophiles. So they get under the thumb of the government. The government probably discovers their activities through, you know, the internet stuff. You know, who's looking at child porn, and boom, they make them do this, or you know, they offer them these jobs. Because these guys get paid. Sometimes they lodge at certain motels. I found out, and I've gone through those dumpsters and found the receipt system, how it happens. Essentially, they rent the car and then meet up with some sort of captain or whatever. Look at these guys, and who reimburses them, you know, and a lot of that stuff is stolen from me too. But it's you know, when the shoot starts, this is too big to hide everything, and it's going to come out, you know. And I do say this, that, you know, this thing started a year ago when I became active in trying to activate a movement to expand the LA City Council from the 12 people who are on it now, who get paid $160,000 a year each, to a 40-person or at least 30-person city council assembly like we see in Chicago or New York. These city council assemblies bring democracy to the local neighborhoods, and political involvement, and better services. And the LAPD, as I knew from doing my research, did not want any change. They are cozied in with these 12 people, getting tons of money, getting tons of bennies, acting like thugs, no problem, never being prosecuted, and so they love this 12. So when a guy like me comes from, starts, hey, what about doing like other, you know, like council assembly? They went at me this way, I believe. You know, that's about a week after it. These gang stalkers showed up and tried to, you know, freak me out. Maybe I got caught as a homeless experiment. I'm not sure. I did tell them a week into their activities that I was going to do my best to just, you know, uncover and unmask them, no matter what it took. I do not like their thuggery. I do not like the way they stamp around on the Constitution. I hate the way they focus on the people who are more helpless than them. They're cowards. They're cowards, cowards, cowards. If you look up the word coward, their pictures would be next to it in the dictionary. You know, how else to describe men or women who drive around in spooky cars, chasing around people who are on the street because they're mentally broken or addicted, they're already racked up, and this is their victim. I mean, and take it from me, I can attest to this. You know, many nights they've chased me around, and I've had to hide here or there, and I hear them talk as they approach or leave when they don't find me. So they usually find me, but they're very arrogant. They think what they're doing is a lot of fun. They think it is, you know, that the people who they're chasing are just useless. You know, there's no human compassion there. It's especially the Scientologists. It's a materialistic, unfortunately, totally, you know, dehumanizing, inhuman approach. They dehumanize. It's bad. I think in the end, the way there's got to be some prosecutions. There's got to be perhaps a registry of the gang stalkers. There's a lot of these gang stalkers in America. Who are they? We need to know who these people are and have them register, because they have shown the capacity to, you know, take weaker people, their weaker neighbor, and hurt them for money, for power, for domination. They dominate. Your brains are sick. You know, I see it. I analyze it down to greed. You know, the capitalism. They push the greed so much as an incentive. You know, they take the worst human emotion and use it to motivate, to pay. And of course, it's gonna, you know, bring forth worse, you know, things. This gang stalker domination of trying to dominate the homeless person or some. It's a form of greed. You know, gone wild. It's a sickness. You know, this is where it leads to. Greed will make people sick. This is sick what they're doing. And if you don't think so, reevaluate. You know, throughout our societies. At least in America, we've tried to take care of one another as much as we can. You know, we're social animals. You're not, you know, in it to hurt each other, especially the ones who are, you know, needing of help. That's sick. You know, is it the beginning of fascism? It definitely has, you know, those inklings. You have police. Not doing what they took their pledge to do, which is to protect and serve, sort of on a a level basis. They're not doing that. They have the guns, they have the power to arrest, and they're enforcing a vigilante sort of law, which nobody has elected or supported. And it becomes a question of why is this being allowed at their local level here. I really think here in LA that here in other Southern California areas, they are taking their shot. Not just the rich. They are able to, the rich certainly love it, I'm sure, and allow it, but they are able to use these immigrant Christian who need citizenship as their foot soldiers. They're able to use the people who need money, the payment, like this gentleman down here in front of me. Probably needs money, and he's doing it for the bucks that they pay him. I can't say, hey, if I was hungry and needed to keep a house, I wouldn't be out stocking something myself. I don't know what his needs are, what their needs are. I just know that what they're doing to get their foot soldiers, and there needs to be a ripping open and an investigation of where this money's, how the payments are being made. My suspicions are this, that they have a few criminal enterprises making money. For instance, when I was down in the industrial district, at Santa Fe and 4th, getting my ass kicked, and the way out, I had to go through a mile of these overpasses, and I think it's 10 or something. It's all curtained up like a DPW place, but inside those curtains, there's truck after truck after truck filled with scrap metal. It's a huge scrapping operation, and obviously involving city workers, county workers, who knows. A lot of money going in. I saw people working hard at it, scrapping hubcaps, cars. I don't know, but I saw it. At the bottom of that, I was like, there's got to be money here going into this. The sheriff's getting it. Who? I don't know. The chief of police here in LA, taking out $325,000 a year. Okay, that's what he makes. More than the president of the United States. Of course, this is what he's allowed. Maybe he's worth it if he loves this. The LAPD has to be totally rebuilt. It's a thuggery money-making machine. They don't care about the population. They're doing it for themselves. The people, you got people working for them, and they're a mafia right now. What would be a good LA police force? I think you could have change, big change here. What you put in a new council and get rid of this intimidating system. A police force, almost a mobile police force, that's out with the people. No more big stations where they hide in jail, and of course you're gonna need something, but those days are gone. Where you have this, I think they can be gone too. You have this rampant crime needed for warehouses. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I like to look at it, but I would like to see a very transparent, community-oriented police operation, and I think that many of the people, the youngsters who end up working for these people now, running their, chasing around people in cars and being gang stalkers, could end up being good police guys at some point, after a little reform. A lot of youths are involved in this. A lot of teens, a lot of 20s and 30s, they're looking for jobs. And this is the best that the political structure of LA can offer them, is this sort of work. Yes, because the police have taken over the political structure, and that's what happens with that. The police, they run, they're shot callers. And we don't hire police to be shot callers. We hire them to protect and serve, and so that has gone bad. We're at 20 minutes to 12 minutes. I'm going to shut it down. I hope this gets across. My name is Ed Ryan. I'm here in LA, uncovering a gang stalking corruption mess. And I hope that the mainstream media goes out and follows up on some of the things. Again, thank you.